Welcome back from the PIIC Center, infectious disease expert, Dr. Donna O'Neill. Good morning, welcome back.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Guess what yesterday was?
The day after my birthday?
It was
actually my sister's birthday.
Oh,
Happy birthday, Karen.
Happy birthday, Karen.
No.
Happy birthday.
It was your birthday.
No. It was National HIV Testing Day.
You're kidding me.
I saw
Yeah,
that.
so people should get tested for that.
Yeah, and because there is treatment, it seems to have fallen out of the news, but people are still getting it.
Right. Good treatment, and you want to prevent it. So just thought I'd bring that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No vaccine yet, but there is, isn't there like PrEP?
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
So it's for prevention of HIV if you're in a high-risk group. And there's different ways of doing it, but you take a pill either once a day or before exposure, or potential exposure.
Do we track, like in Jackson, do we know like the rate of any of those things?
Yes, it's a reportable disease.
Do we know what it is in Jackson?
I don't know it off the top of my head, but
We'll get that information.
Mm-hmm. You know, when we were traveling, I saw my mom, and she has shingles.
What?
Yes. Did you know that?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's terrible.
it's in the news. Maybe we should run the clip of Justin Bieber, whose concerts were canceled because of a variant of that. My nieces missed the concert in Toronto. It was delayed from COVID, so they were very disappointed.
Let's take a look. And
Yeah,
then
Justin, teach us.
You can see this eye is not blinking. I can't smile on this side of my face. This nostril will not move. So there's full paralysis in this side of my face.
I remember seeing when that video came out. I believe my daughter alerted me to that. So
My nieces alerted
yeah,
me.
like, okay, well, we're not buying tickets to that show, but so interesting. So total half of his face cannot blink, do anything, and this is.
It's because of the chickenpox virus. It's
Because
very, very, very rare, though.
Wow.
So 5 out of 100,000 people get it, whereas shingles, 1 out of 3 people get it unless you've had the vaccine.
Interesting.
So it's all because of the chickenpox virus, and once you get that, the virus stays with you. It hibernates in a nerve, and then sometimes for no good reason, sometimes when you're under stress, sometimes when you're sick with cancer and other conditions, it can come out of hibernation and reactivate. So shingles typically is just a strip of blisters. If you're immunosuppressed, it can spread to either side of the body and up and down. It can be very serious. So Justin Bieber, it involved one of the facial nerves, and it gets inside the ear, and he was probably dizzy. You can lose hearing for a while.
Is he going to get better? Is that treatable, or is it just
They
wait
do
and
get
see?
better. Takes time. Often, if you catch it early within 3 days, antivirals can be used, steroids to decrease the inflammation. I predict he may have plastic surgery before he's done.
And this is called Ramsey
Hunt.
Okay.
But it's all due to the chickenpox virus, which maybe some people haven't seen because of the vaccine. You know,
I think when Bieber gets something, people pay attention. So it's interesting. You know where Justin Bieber's from?
Canada.
That's right.
there you go.
One of your countrymen.
Yes.
So the people have said, oh, well, I had the chickenpox when I was a kid, so I'm okay.
No.
That's the opposite.
No. So that chickenpox virus, once you have it, it's still in your body, and it's hibernating, but it comes out of hibernation. And he's a little young. Most people with that condition are older than 60. But you can prevent it, and anybody over the age of 50 should get the Shingrix vaccine. So
Interesting.
yeah.
All right, so you asked me before the show if I had the shingles vaccine, and I had 2 of them, because it's a 2-step vaccine,
Yes,
right?
it's 2 vaccines, spaced anywhere from 2 to 6 months apart.
Are you writing this down so you can
I'm
make
writing
your
down my
appointment?
next question.
So
And it's replacing an older vaccine, which was called Zostavax, and that's not being made anymore because now we know that that did not give you long-lasting protection. So if you had the old vaccine, you should get the new one. If you've had shingles, you can still go ahead and get it because it can continually come out of hibernation, although it's not that common to do
I'm
that.
gonna have to
How's
check
this
my
related?
chart.
Is this related to Bell's palsy at all?
So Bell's palsy is, this is usually more severe, and Bell's palsy looks very much the same, but it's not always due to the chickenpox virus. So Lyme disease is one of the most commonest causes of
Really?
Bell's palsy. Yeah.
How about vertigo?
So vertigo is,
Is
you
that
know, the room spinning around.
Yeah, it happens to me if I'm looking at it. Sometimes I read my putts too long, and it's 95 degrees, and then I stand up too quick.
It's probably the beer that you're drinking.
No, it's the vertigo.
So, but the Ramsey hunt, in particular, that can be quite severe because it's affecting inside your ear. So it sometimes affects inside your mouth.
Wow. I imagine that is just completely uncomfortable and a difficult way to carry on.
So with shingles, what's also troublesome is sometimes after the rash, people are left with very terrible pain, post-herpetic neuralgia. So, which can linger on. I saw somebody this week with that actually who's had it for 2 years.
Really?
Terrible pain. Yeah.
Oh.
So how new is the new shingles?
The new vaccine. So I don't know what you had.
Well, I know when I had it. I know when I got the vaccine. It's been, how long has the pandemic been here? It was just before the pandemic.
So you probably, I hope you got the new vaccine. Yeah, so it quickly replaced the old one. So
And
encourage
you can't-
people out there, if you haven't had it, 1 out of 3 people get shingles.
I wonder
You
if it's
can't
in
get
mine.
shingles from someone.
Correct. So the only
There is
way,
one way. I looked it up, and I don't even want to say it.
Well, don't then.
so the shingles blisters have the virus in it. So if you've never been vaccinated for chickenpox, or if you've never had chickenpox, if you touch that fluid, you can then inoculate, you can get it that way. But most people have had either chickenpox or the vaccine.
Fluid's a better word than I was going to use.
Well, that sounds good. I think you were going to say pus. Oops, sorry. We have some COVID news, though, and you brought some.
Yeah, always a little update
always
on
a little. And
So maybe the first one, that heat map. So this is what's happening in the good old USA. It's not gone. We like to think it is. It's still in Jackson. I think we're seeing a little blip from Father's Day, some cases. And so far in the state, things are pretty cool right now. But it hasn't gone away.
Still, hospitalizations continue to remain low.
Yeah, I think it's still low, yes. So, I mean, when you think about it globally, the number of people that have had it and the death rate, and they figured the vaccine has saved at least 20 million people's lives.
It's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. So they figured the new variant, it's still one of the Omicrons, the 4 and 5, it's going to overtake and be the predominant strain in 1 to 2 weeks. The UK, it's hit over there, and they've noticed that their hospitalizations have gone up.
I'm starting to run into people that have getting it for the second time,
Right.
a year later, and that's just going to happen.
But the good thing is, because they figure 95% of people have some degree of immunity, be it from the vaccines or natural infection, it's not as severe. And but where it's really hitting, guys, again, it's our older folks.
Yeah.
So people typically over the age of 85, that's the thing that puts you at increased risk. So really encourage those people not to wait. If you haven't had your second booster, please get your second booster.
Yeah.
The other thing is people who have lots of underlying conditions that increase their risk of a severe outcome. So really encourage that. And the other group, immunosuppressed people, if you haven't had Evusheld, the long-acting monoclonal antibody, please get that. But the big news is childhood vaccination.
Correct, yeah.
So I think it was last week it got approved for children greater than 6 months. That's the last group. They've been waiting and waiting and waiting for the vaccine. So we need to, I don't know if anybody in town has it yet. It's going to be a very tricky rollout because there's 2 different brands, different doses. It depends on the age. I expect both of them will be for the primary series, a 3-shot series. Right now Moderna's 2 and Pfizer's 3.
Wow.
But whatever you get, I don't know if the hospital or the Henry Ford system has rolled it out yet, but it's going to be a little trickier. The pharmacies may be limited because there's an age limit as to who they can vaccinate.
The week after this was approved, there were surveys, one by CBS News, that found only 17% of parents of infant-age children that are now eligible for the vaccine would get that vaccine. Less than 1 out of 5.
But don't you think that's true for any vaccine?
And I
So when
understand
chickenpox
yeah.
vaccine came out, I bet you it was the same. Anything new, there's always going to be that group that gets it first and then the next. But think about it. I mean, the pneumococcal vaccine, once that came out, the rate of pneumococcal disease in adults plummeted. So it's not only going to protect the child, it's going to protect the family. I mean, how many kids brought COVID home to the family?
Yeah.
It's going to protect the schools. You want a normal school year? Get your kids vaccinated because, it travels, rapidly in schools. It's good for the community. It's so disruptive. I mean,
that's a great word.
If you have kids, you can't go to work or you have to find alternative childcare, and it's been shown to be cost effective. So there's always going to be with anything new. I mean, even with adults, everybody was uncertain at first, but come on, that vaccine saved 20 million people. We had 600 people die in Jackson. This is no joke.
Yeah, and it's still here.
And this has been deadlier than, flu seasons.
Yeah.
So children get vaccinated for flu.
It's amazing how our brains are wired as society, isn't
Well,
it?
the shot, I think that's part of it. Now,
A shot
people don't
is a big part of it.
I remember this, but maybe I'm remembering wrong. When I was a kid, we had one of our vaccines, and I think it was a polio vaccine, that was a sugar cube with red liquid on it. So it was very attractive, little kids, sugar and red. There was very little resistance to, and I think they even passed it out on trays in school.
I think they had to stop doing that because of poison. That's a way to poison.
But that's how they did it, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Modern medicine has advanced where the sugar cubes don't need to be laid out and Kool-Aid dripped into it. So
That's
I mean,
how they
we
did it.
don't know what this virus is going to do next. I think our approach would have been totally different if it, affected our little ones,
No doubt.
very severe. But I mean, this virus keeps changing, and we're always running to try to catch up with it. So I encourage, it's going to take time to roll the vaccine process out, and then you need, 2 to 3 doses. It's going to take a couple of months. So, I mean, you can always predict after school starts, the first week, you're going to have your first viral infection. It's like clockwork. You could set your watch to it. Not that anybody wears watches anymore, but
you have a watch on.
yeah. So I know there's hesitancy, but I encourage people once available to get it. It's safe. I mean, it took so long. Why did it take so long? They had to make sure it was safe. So,
Dr. Donna O'Neill on the morning show. Dr. Donna, thanks for being with us today.
thank you. Have a good day.
More
happy
of the morning show.
Independence Canada. Independence Day is this week.
July the 1st, Friday. Yes.
Awesome. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Dr. Donna O'Neill. We'll be right back. More of the morning show.
Hi, I'm Richard King. I've been working on cars for over 38 years, and 10 years of that has been here in Jackson. I'm an ASC certified master technician. What makes King's Auto different from the rest out there is that we take the time to diagnose the cars properly the first time around. We fix what the others can't. Whether it's an oil change or a head gasket repair, wheel bearings to spark plugs, at King's Auto and Truck will get you in and out and get it done right the first time around. Then bring your car or truck over here to King's Auto and Truck, 4114 East Michigan Avenue in Jackson.
It takes a real estate expert to find the right 2,000 square feet in a neighborhood where kids can be kids, land softly, and grow up not so fast, please. A place to laugh together and make a lifetime of memories. And it all starts with a realtor, guided by a code of ethics.
So, can you picture it?
And the doors you open together.
American Title is a proud supporter of the Jackson Area Association of Realtors. American Title, 280 West Cortland, AmericanTitleJackson.com.
Now is Extreme's Ram Make the Switch event. Did you know you can custom order a new Ram for less than buying one, and you'll have it in 10 to 12 weeks? Also, have you seen the new Jeep lineup? Lease prices are great this month. Finally, the Extreme buying team would like to purchase your vehicle. Extreme pays top market value. It's easy, safe, and you get paid on the spot. Visit Extreme Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Jackson or online at extremedodge.com.
Oh, yeah.
It's time for a new Believe the Hype with Chris Giannetti and Megan Bashir. Let's take a look.